Hello students, in this video we are going to learn about breathing and respiration in other animals as well as plants. Let us first learn about breathing and respiration in other animals. Some of the animals which do not have lungs for breathing are earthworm, fish, frog and insects like cockroach. Let us discuss breathing in earthworm. The earthworm breathes through its skin. The skin of earthworm is quite thin and moist. Therefore, gases can easily pass through the skin of earthworm by the process of diffusion. The skin of earthworm has a good blood supply. So, the earthworm absorbs the oxygen of air needed for respiration through its thin and moist skin. This oxygen is then transported to all the cells of the earthworm by its blood where it is used in respiration. The carbon dioxide produced during respiration is carried back by the blood and expelled from the body of the earthworm through its skin. Thus, in earthworm, the exchange of gases takes place through the thin and moist skin. Dear students, we can notice that the exchange of gases in earthworm is through the thin and moist skin, whereas the exchange of gases in humans and other animals like elephants, frogs, lizards, snakes and birds have lungs for breathing. Another point to note is that the cellular respiration is same as it is in the case of humans and other animals which we have just discussed. Now let us talk about frogs. Frogs are amphibians as they live on land as well as in water. Though frogs have lungs for breathing, they can also breathe through their moist skin. When do they breathe through their moist skin? When they are in water. And the process of breathing and respiration when they are in water is same as in the case of earthworm. And when they are on land, the process of breathing and respiration is same as in the case of humans. Let us discuss breathing in fish. Fish is an aquatic animal. We all know this. And fish has special organs of breathing called gills. Look at the figure 19 and locate the position of gills. Gills are present on the either side of the head. For breathing, the fish uses the oxygen which is dissolved in water. This happens as follows. The fish breathes by taking in water through its mouth and sending it over the gills. When water passes over the gills extract dissolved oxygen from this water. And the extracted oxygen is absorbed by the blood and carried to all the parts of the fish for respiration. Dear students, when the cells of the fish receives this blood rich in oxygen, then the process of cellular respiration occurs as it occurs in humans and earthworms and other animals. Thus, the exchange of gases in fish takes place in the gills. Some other aquatic animals like prawn, crab and freshwater mussel also respire through gills or similar structures. Dear students, please note that most of the snails live in water and have gills for breathing. They use gills to extract oxygen dissolved in water. However, some of the snails who live on land have developed a kind of lung. So, the land snails breathe by using the lung. There are, however, some sea animals like dolphins and whales which live in water but do not have gills. Dolphins and whales breathe in air through their nostrils called blowholes, which are located on the upper parts of their heads. Dear students, do you know that why we take oxygen cylinder for breathing underwater? Because we human beings cannot survive underwater because we don't have gills like other aquatic animals. and therefore we cannot make use of oxygen dissolved in water for breathing. Now, let us learn breathing in insects. All the insects have tiny holes on the sides of their body which are called spiracles. The spiracles on the body of insects are connected to a network of thin air tubes called tracheae, which spread into the whole body of the insect. Look at the figure 20. Here we see an insect with tiny holes called spiracles and thin air tubes called tracheae. The breathing in all the insects takes place through these tiny holes called spiracles and thin air tubes called tracheae. Dear students, please note that here blood doesn't carry the oxygen as we have seen in the case of fish, frog, humans and earthworm. Dear students, air enters into the insect through spiracles by the up and down movements of its body. The upward movement of the body helps in inhalation and the downward movement of the body helps in exhalation. Please remember this. So, by the upward movement of the body, air rushes into the body of the insect through spiracles and goes into the network of thin air tubes called tracheae. From the tracheae, oxygen of air diffuses into the body tissues of insect and reaches each and every cell of its body where it is utilized in respiration. Likewise, carbon dioxide produced during respiration in the cells diffuses into tracheae and carried to the spiracles where it is expelled in the process of breathing. Thus, in insects, the exchange of gases occurs through tracheae. Dear students, do you know that insects do not have red blood in their body? Why? Because the blood does not contain hemoglobin. Since the blood of insects does not contain hemoglobin, so it cannot carry oxygen to all the parts of the body. Every part of the body of an insect gets oxygen through a network of big and small air tubes called tracheae. Now let us discuss the next topic, respiration in plants. Just like animals, respiration in plants also involves the exchange of gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide. However, the respiration in plants differ from that of animals is that in plants each part like leaves, roots, etc. can carry out respiration independently. In other words, in plants, each part can independently take in oxygen from air, utilize it to obtain energy and give out carbon dioxide. Understand? Now let us discuss respiration in leaves. As we all know that the exchange of gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide in the leaves during respiration takes place through stomata. This happens as follows. Oxygen from air enters into a leaf through stomata and reaches all the cells by the process of diffusion. This oxygen is used in respiration in the cells of the leaf. The carbon dioxide produced during respiration diffuses out from the leaf into air through the same stomata. So we can also say that plants breathe through the tiny pores in the leaves called stomata. Now let us discuss respiration in roots. Roots are found under the ground. So how do they respire? Let us learn. The roots of a plant take up air from the spaces between the soil particles. Look at the figure 22. Actually, the roots of plants have a very large number of tiny hairs on them, which are called root hair. The root hair are in contact with the air in the soil particles. Oxygen from air in soil particles diffuses into root hair and reaches all the cells of the root where it is utilized in respiration. Dear students, please note that the cell wall of these root hairs are very thin and it is very easy to for the air to get diffuse inside the root by the process of diffusion. The carbon dioxide produced in the cells of the root during respiration goes out through the same root hair by the process of diffusion. Thus, the respiration in roots occurs by the exchange of gases through the root hair. Dear students, do you know that if a potted plant is overwatered for a long time, then what will happen? Then the plant may ultimately die. How? How is it this possible? This is possible because too much water expels all the air from air in between the soil particles. Understand? And due to this, oxygen is not available to the roots for aerobic respiration. Under these conditions, the roots of plants respire anaerobically producing alcohol, and this may kill the plant.